Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is a historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being, and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant. And we are called to love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. Our chalice lighting today comes from Albert Einstein. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when they contemplate the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity. As we gather, we acknowledge that Arlington Street Church occupies the ancestral homeland of the Massachusetts. By making this land acknowledgement, we recognize, honor, and affirm the sovereignty of all First Nation peoples. Welcome to our Zoomers and welcome to our incarnate congregation. Many thanks to our volunteers braving the heat in the sanctuary today. Thank you to our tech team. Art Nava is on the Zoom deck and sound. Frank Lee is in the Zoom chat. Rich Abreu is behind the camera. Thank you to our Great Doors team, ensuring we can gather safely in person. Queen Cheryl, Barbara Ginhart, and Rachel Corey are our greeters, and Kevin Terrell is our lead usher. Thank you to our musicians, Chang Chang on piano, and our section leader, Eve Loria. Thank you, thank you. Eve rabbit tested this morning so she can sing unmasked. We've closed the first 4 pews up front to keep everyone safe. A reminder that those in the sanctuary should be physically distancing from those not in your family or pod. When your pew is full, please close your pew door so people arrive after you know that it's full, even if you're the only one sitting there. It is very, very hot today. We want to honor our COVID protocols and we want to be safe. There's ice water in the back. If the heat is getting to you, please step to the back and take a cup, and feel free to stand outside in the fresh air or to move downstairs where it is much cooler. If you need help at any time, please raise a hand and Kevin will be happy to help. We want to take care of each other. Finally, for those of you who are new to Arlington Street, a very special welcome to you. Please go to ascboston.org and sign up for Snapshot, our electronic newsletter, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Whether you have been coming here for years or today is your first time at Arlington Street, welcome home.
Good morning. A very special welcome to today's guest minister, Reverend Ali Jablonski. Reverend Ali was ordained at Arlington Street Church just a few weeks ago, but has been preaching for many years at ASC. In addition to being one of our affiliated community ministers, Ali is the Director of Spiritual Care at Tufts Medical Center and serves as an interfaith chaplain on the adult ICUs. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at ascboston.org. For our guests here in the sanctuary, there are printed copies at the Great Doors. As we begin our greetings, I invite the Zoomers and those here in the sanctuary with a device handy to please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're Zooming in from today. And now, Richa Brew is going to turn the camera on the incarnate congregation as we wave and smize at each other, as well as at our friends in the Zoom room. And you all in the Zoom room can wave and smile back. Hello, friends. Let's all engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart.
Good morning. Please stand as you're willing and able, and join me in singing hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
We dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found our time to be together. Have the words to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. A child is born among us, and we feel a special glow. We see time's endless journey as we watch the baby grow. We thrill to hear imagination freely running wild. We dedicate our minds and hearts to the spirit of this child. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a time to be together. We have our hearts to reach. We share the wonder of youth. And we believe that growing is an answer. Our lives are full of wonder, and our time is very brief. The death of one among us fills us all with pain and grief. But as we live, so shall we die. And when our lives are done, the memories we shared with friends, they will linger on and on. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a place to be together. We have the right to grow. We have gather here to make sense of what we find, and we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a joy being together, and in our search for peace, maybe we'll finally see, even to question truly is an answer. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, oh, made holy, loved and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow in the chat. Zoomers are invited to light silent candles at home. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up front to the right of the Gleason podium. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A mixed candle from the ASC congregation. A mixed candle as we watch the live broadcast of the January 6th panel this week. Sadness and grief for all of the loss and suffering the attack on the Capitol caused. Gratitude for courage and honesty in these hearings, and hope for the best for our justice system to be put to use. A candle of healing and support from Harriet for Frank Lee's father, who just arrived at a long-term care facility in Brooklyn, and a candle of healing for Frank's mother as she restores her own health. A mixed candle from the ASC congregation as we continue to live through this heat wave. Great concern for our planet and for all beings around the world suffering in this heat, especially those without adequate resources. We are grateful to all the helpers fighting to protect our neighbors and the planet, and call for action to multiply all efforts to protect our home and each other. A final candle of concern from Harriet. A candle of healing for my son-in-law's mother, Sheila, in the hospital for acute kidney failure in Nova Scotia. May she heal and be restored as soon as possible.
Open my be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A single candle of joy from Eve Loria. For my mother, Sharon Walden, who is turning 80 this summer. We will celebrate her next weekend. I love my mom, and I'm so glad we can be together.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, for our country, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another.
El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a lo que nos comprometemos, convivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor y ayudarnos los unos a los otros. We will now sing hymn number 298, Wake Now My Senses. And it is very hot, so we're going to skip a couple verses. We'll sing verse number 1, 2, and 4. So please stand as you're willing and able.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your conscience with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race.
My favorite bookstore has a plaque that reads, "Be like Curious George. Start with a question and look under the yellow hat to find what's there." Curiosity is defined as the state of genuinely wanting to know more about something or someone. Do you know Curious George? Was he a part of your childhood, or maybe your children or grandchildren's childhood? Or maybe you haven't met him yet. Curious George is a little monkey and the main character of a series of children's books as well as TV series and movies. George's friend, known as the man with the yellow hat, cares for George in a city somewhere in America. Married couple Margaret and H.A. Ray were German Jews who first published the first Curious George book in 1941, a year after they fled Paris. In the 80 years that have passed, more than 30 million copies of Curious George books have been sold, and the book has been translated into over 25 languages. Curious George is, above all else, curious. His curiosity often gets him into trouble, but he explores with great intentions, and his stories center around playful curiosity and the learning and the relationships it brings. Curious George was one of my favorite characters as a kid, which might have been because my favorite teacher loved Curious George. Mrs. Novak taught second grade for decades, and every year, her students learned about Curious George. At least once a week, we incorporated Curious George into our lessons. We got to know him, which made it that much more exciting when we learned that we would get to take him home with us. Every student in Mrs. Novak's class was assigned a week to care for Curious George, who was a stuffed animal to our parents, but was real to all of us. After our weekend with George, we wrote a story chapter about what Curious George did when he was with us. And at the end of each year, we each got a book with every student's chapter. We got to see all of his adventures. Even though decades have passed since I was in Mrs. Novak's second grade, I can still remember how taking George around felt magical. Sharing our adventures with our classmates fostered an interest in each other, and it sparked curiosity in our classroom environment. It has been a while since I've thought about Curious George. More recently, I've been thinking about another movie character. When I go into my GIFs, there he is on my list of favorites. Anger is one of the main characters of the Disney Pixar movie Inside Out, which follows Riley, who, when we meet her, is a very happy 11-year-old. But something happens, and Riley's emotions, led by joy, try to guide her through this big event. But the stress brings other feelings, anger, fear, disgust, and sadness to the forefront. Anger is the personification of our emotion, anger. He goes from 0 to 60 instantly, shooting fire from his head, his rage very clear for all of us to see. It is telling when one of your most commonly used GIFs is anger, shooting fire from his mind as he yells. Lately, there are so many moments where I feel like anger. And while it is a funny GIF, it is not a way that I want to live. I would like to be like our little monkey, Curious George, but I so easily turn into anger. And what do I mean when I talk about anger? Getting upset very quickly, reacting instead of responding, which often leads to being swept away by assumptions and stereotypes and frustrations, leaving no room to understand or to discover or to wonder or to learn. I work as a hospital chaplain, and recently we had a week with very slim coverage at the hospital. Those of us who were here were working long hours to try to cover our community's needs. One day my voicemail light was on every time I got back to my office. 2 of the 3 messages were from a patient's mom, I'll call Rachel, who just wanted to check in. My tired mind started to catch flame. What did she need? Rachel was regularly pulling providers in to talk through many questions and needs, and I had just seen her the night before, and there didn't seem to be any crises going on when I went to rounds that morning. As I felt my mind going hot, the phone rang and I saw that it was Rachel again. I forced a breath and I answered gently. And Rachel asked if I had gotten her messages. I explained that I hadn't gotten a chance to call back. I could feel my mind putting up defenses, expecting criticism. The criticism did not come. Rachel's words cut into my thoughts. I just wanted to call and thank you for all the time you've given me this week. It's been really scary seeing my son sick, and caring for him takes up most of my life, so I don't have many people to turn to. My son will go to rehab soon, and I just wanted the chance to thank you. Well, I felt terrible. Why did I come in hot, angry, and full of assumptions instead of being curious about what Rachel might want? Why do we respond this way? There are a lot of reasons, and they're good reasons. We are trying to protect ourselves. We try to identify something that could be harmful or upsetting, and we try to keep ourselves out of its path. We are worn too thin. This is always possible, but it seems more and more likely with the 3 years that we have had, living through violence of so many types, both near and far, and a pandemic that still has a huge impact on our daily lives. When we are worn too thin, we are more apt to be reactive than proactive or responsive, because it takes less time and less energy. It is easier to go off of what we think we know than to be open to what we don't know. And we protect ourselves from being vulnerable. We don't want to expose our insecurities. It is very hard to be curious, but it is incredibly beneficial. There is so much possibility in following Curious George. The Harvard Business Review presented extensive research about curiosity that shows that when we are curious, we are less likely to stereotype because we do not make broad judgments. When we are curious, we are less defensive and less aggressive. When we are curious, we are more creative. When we are curious, we put ourselves in others' shoes, developing and deepening our empathy. When we are curious, our curiosity begets humility. Those who are open to what they don't know are willing to admit they don't have all the answers. Research out of UC Berkeley shows that when we are curious, we have stronger relationships. When we are curious, our survival skills are stronger. And Britannica's Curiosity Compass studies the science of curiosity and has found that curiosity makes us happier. When you explore and satisfy your curiosity, your brain floods your body with dopamine, making you feel happier. My friend and colleague Andrea recently helped me cover walls in my apartment with renter's wallpaper. We read the directions, we measured, and we cut our first panel. As we started to stick it up, we saw that the cuts around the vents and the outlets didn't line up. I sighed and said, ugh, we messed it up. Around the same time, Andrea said, I wonder what we did wrong. As you can probably imagine, Andrea's curious response proved to be much more helpful than my frustrated response. Do you have an Andrea in your life? Someone who, when something isn't going right, they take a breath and express curiosity about the situation. These are the people who wonder. They wonder about the situation. They wonder what another is feeling and experiencing and why. These are the people that I admire most. And while we might not be able to find gentle, kind monkeys in yellow hats running around us, I am grateful that we can find peers who embody or model curiosity. When I share stories about my work, I always change the identifying details so that I protect my patients and my colleagues, but give you the essence of what happened. A nurse that I'll call Jamie was coming on the night shift for a patient that I'll call Marilyn. Marilyn had dementia and had tried to bite and kick and hit the nurses on the day shift. She's just mean. That's where her dementia has left her. It's sad, but it's true. You'll have a better time if you put her in soft restraints. Better for you and better for her, Jamie was told in report. Jamie hated this. Her grandma had dementia, and she grieved how many would never know the compassionate, wise, and funny woman she had been before this disease. Jamie was kind and gentle with Marilyn, wondering if there might be something else besides dementia at play. She watched Marilyn scratch at her head and then hit her bed and yell out. I wonder what she is thinking. I wonder what she is feeling. Jamie wondered why she kept scratching her head. And as she wondered and watched, she remembered how important it was to her grandmother to have her hair fixed. Do you want your hair done? Jamie asked. Marilyn stared at her blankly for a while, but then said quickly, I have to go. I will miss my appointment. Jamie wondered if she could be talking about a hair appointment. And the next night, Jamie brought a brush, a hair dryer, hair detangler, and a curling iron. When the night slowed, she did Marilyn's hair, and Marilyn transformed. She stopped slapping her head. She stopped yelling out. Jamie asked her if that's what she wanted, and Marilyn said, "You can't go out looking like this." Marilyn was able to be taken out of restraints, and she was no longer combative. Jamie's curiosity had a profound impact on Marilyn's care. I'd like to read you a very short story. It's a children's book called Maybe, a story about the endless potential in all of us. It's by Kobe Yamada and illustrated by Gabriella Baroque. Have you ever wondered why you are here? You are the only you have that has ever been or ever will be. You have so much to offer. Maybe you will invent something that no one has seen before. Maybe you will build things that reach high into the sky. Your life is yours. Try as many things as you can. See as much as you can see. Wherever you go, take your hopes, pack your dreams, and never forget it's on journeys that discoveries are made. Maybe you will help others to see beauty in each day, or maybe you'll lift cheering crowds onto their feet. Do everything with love, following your heart and see where it leads you. Maybe you are here to shine a light into places that have been dark for far too long. Maybe you will speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Maybe you are here to help in ways that only you can. There will be struggles, there will be fears, and it won't always be easy. At times, it will feel really hard, and you might want to make a mess of things. You may fall down, you may fail, but you will always get back up and you will rise a little stronger and a little taller, because there really is more inside you than you know. And this world needs your gifts, your talents, your big ideas, and maybe you are just getting started. What if you are only scratching the surface of what you can do and who you can be? What if you have talents you haven't discovered yet? There is something powerful, even magical about you. You already have everything it takes to do big things. Maybe you have an idea. Maybe you have no idea just how good you really can be. And maybe you don't know how much you matter. But maybe, just maybe, the world has been waiting centuries for someone exactly like you. One thing is for sure, you are here. And because you are here, anything is possible. I love this children's book as it is, but I love how our hospital uses this book. Our neonatal intensive care unit mails this book to each baby who graduates from the ICU to home. This is how the team that cared for this baby for weeks or months or even a year, this is how the team wants baby to start their journey, with so much curiosity of and hope for who they will be. What would it be like if we hoped this for each other as adults, for the people we know and the people we don't yet know? How do we follow George's lead and foster curiosity? Anderson University gives this guidance to develop curiosity. Keep an open mind. Don't take things at face value, and ask questions relentlessly. How can you practice curiosity? Think about a time when you felt yourself morph into anger, the fire coming out of your head. What happened? What were you thinking as anger took over? Was there any space for curiosity? Could you make space? What is the other person experiencing? Why might they be responding this way? What might I not know? What might they need? And what do I need? How could pausing to be curious impact what is happening? I think about Rachel, my patient's mom. When I saw the missed calls, what if I wondered what she might be experiencing, why she might need to keep reaching out to me? Being curious would have helped me take better care of Rachel. Being curious would have helped me take better care of myself. I could have wondered about my reactions. Why am I jumping to upset? What am I carrying? What might I need? May you have hope that no matter how many times you react, curiosity will still wait for you. May you look under the hats. May you look into minds and into hearts, and may this curiosity allow you to be a blessing and allow you to be blessed. Amen.
are so many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side. Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is it the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La-di-da-di-da-da-dum, la-da-da-da-da-da-di-do.
Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. It's up to us, and our generosity continues to be astounding. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and our beloved spiritual community. One of the things that I love most about our community is that our leadership is multi-generational, from teenagers to our elders. When I first moved to Boston 5 years ago, I did some church shopping in the area and was trying to find a community where I saw myself represented. I remember the first few Sundays I attended Arlington Street services, James and Lucy were at the podium as worship coordinators, and I thought that this is a community where members of all ages are seen, valued, and heard. I am happy to be a part of a congregation that values the voices of the younger members of our community just as much as we value the voices of those that are older. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to our beloved spiritual community and filling our virtual collection plate. You can mail a check to our church or use the envelopes in the pews, which can be handed to me or any of our ushers after the service. You can also give online by scanning the QR code in the order of service or going to ascboston.org. Or you can also text your gift to the church by sending a message with the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to 617-300-0509. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. This summer, as always, we're directing our gifts to the Emergency Response Fund. Over the years, we've used this money to support survivors of local emergencies and to help in rescue and rebuilding efforts following natural and unnatural disasters nationally and around the world. Greater Boston, as well as New Orleans, Houston, Puerto Rico, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Thailand, Haiti, the Philippines, Afghanistan, and Ukraine. Thank you for your generosity.
In a lullaby, somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somehow in a lullaby, somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I?
There are weekly gatherings in the Zoom room for loving kindness, meditation, poetry, yoga, and writing. Every Wednesday, including throughout the summer, Rev Kim and Rev Beth host a tea party with a conversation prompt. It's a lot of fun. Information and Zoom room links are at ascboston.org. You don't have to be a member, you don't have to turn on your video or talk if you don't want to, and they're all free. All are always welcome. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join the virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, please answer yes to the breakout room invitation that will appear on your screen. Reverend Ali and I will be out front. If you're here in person, please come say hello after virtual coffee hour. Thanks to all of you who have joined in today's service and to all of those who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together.
Our final hymn is number 131, and we are going to, if you're looking in your hymnal, all of the verses that are on the order of service are not in the hymnal. So what we're going to do is verse 1, verse 2, and then switch to your order of service and sing verse 3, and then we're going to skip the two after that, and we'll do verse 6, which is the same as verse 1. Does that make sense? So 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Love will guide us, He has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. You are like no other being. What you can give, no other can give to the future of our children, to the future of the world where we live. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Thank you so much. Before our benediction, I invite those of you in the Zoom room to please reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square. And those of you in the sanctuary to please raise your hands, palms out. Let's send loving kindness to the people to your left and to your right. Send loving kindness to the person on either side of you and the people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in namaste. I bow to the divine in you. May you exist in holy curiosity today and in all the days to come. May awe flood your eyes, your minds, and your hearts. May being curious wake your senses and carry you over the rainbow. Amen. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins where the service ends. Bless your heart.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.